Welcome back to the REI Agent. I'm here with Jesse Walters. Jesse, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Jesse, tell us, give us like a bird's eye view of who you are and what you do in the real estate space.
Yeah, so I'm kind of entrepreneur at heart. I've been in different industries and started up other businesses, things like that. I met my wife and she got into real estate as an agent, and she got really good at it. That was started like 2017. And I watched that career grow while I was doing my own thing. And 2021, that's when I started getting into it. We started talking about investments, things like that. And we bought our first rental property, and then I got hooked. I got licensed in 2022, and so I am an agent, but my wife is really the face of all that now. I work on the rentals. We do flips. I help other investors buy properties, things like that. But yeah, she is more the agent side of things in that. But yeah, we kind of tag team it.
Okay, cool. A real estate family. I love it.
Yeah.
What was that first deal like? What were you looking for, and what did you find? Was it one that you would do again, or did you learn some lessons from the first one?
Yeah, it was kind of a weird thing. It wasn't planned. We kind of had conversations about buying rentals. As her career grew, it's like, man, real estate's really kind of where it is. Like if we're gonna, grow into retirement, things like that. It was 2021. It's when the market was just insane, crazy. Rates were super low. Like that. And it was a house, just a single family home on the market, listed like 165 or something. It was a flip house. Like another guy flipped it. It was like turnkey. It didn't really have to do much to it. And we're like, well, we have the cash. Like we literally just put 20% down. Like it was nothing fancy. It was just, we made an offer. And we got a 30-year fix at like a 3% interest rate. And it cash flows like great now, especially it cash flowed then when we bought it. And now, like as rent keeps going up, like it's just awesome. Like I've had to do knock on wood, very little maintenance to that property too, because it was all recently renovated. I've had to do like little minor maintenance stuff, but yeah, it's one of our best cash flow properties we got. And it's centrally located in town. We get a lot of people. It's a desirable area, everything. And yeah, on a 30-year fix, like we're just going to let that loan ride out to the very end.
Yeah, no, I wish we could get those again.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's, I think too many people, I don't know what if you did a ton of reading and podcasts and that kind of stuff leading up to that first investment, but I think a lot of people don't just get that first 20% down investment. Not everybody has the means to do so, but like if you do, like I think there's a lot of analysis paralysis, people trying to be overly complicated with all of these different fancy strategies, shiny object syndrome, like, I'm going to do midterm rentals. I'm going to, rent by the room. I'm going to do assisted living. I'm going to, that maybe this is the new token for the way that is the way. And I think that's backwards. I think really, like, if you could just start, with, maybe not a rental that you have to put 20% down on if you're also kind of new in your career, but maybe something more like a house hack or just buying a place that you want to rent in the future and just kind of getting that base hit to get you rolling, and then kind of getting into the more complicated stuff as you get experience and more equity, more capital, et cetera.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was one of those things I did not do any research. It was just like one of those things, like we saw the mortgage payment and what we knew we could rent it for. We were like, there's a pretty big gap there. I'm like, it's just a good place to put some money. And I'm like, well, we could just, so we kind of went into it backwards compared to most investors and stuff like that. But I will say, after we did that, I was like instantly hooked. I'm like, I want to buy another one. But I was like, now we don't have any money though. So I got to figure it out. We put all of our money into that thing, and I'm like, now we got to keep going. And yeah, that's when we started getting creative with, financing, finding fix and flips and things like that.
So at that point, were you starting to read the books and listen to all the podcasts and stuff?
Exactly. That was the trigger. I went through all of that stuff. Yeah. Like just constantly on podcasts and audiobooks, everything, just learning as much as I could. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So now you've done flips and all that kind of stuff too. Are you doing the BRRRR method as well? Like, I know for us personally, like whenever we come across a property that could be flipped, it's kind of a decision of whether do we want to keep this one or do we want to just sell it and offload it? Is that where you all are at with those as well?
It is, yeah. So I really like to find those ones that need some love, like ones we can go in and fix up, and yeah, either we flip it or keep as a rental. Kind of depends on every house is circumstantial. I can't like I've even changed my mind halfway through the project at
Yeah.
times, but
Same.
yeah, typically. So now we bought that first one. We had a equity in it because we put 20% down. The next two we bought after that were uh, ones that needed some love. So we would put some sweat and equity in. We build them up things like that. So the first three properties, we got a decent amount of equity from appraised values on them, and then we started using that equity to buy more. We would borrow against it so we could buy houses no money down. And after and after we would do the renovations, get rents up, whatever that project was, that we were going to keep it, we would get it reappraised and untie the other property from it, so we could pull that, free up that equity again, and rinse, repeat, do it again. So,
Yeah. I mean, that's just another reason for just kind of taking base hits before you go for the grand slam. I mean, like you have so much more opportunity once you have some equity to do things. Like that's how we got started with flipping, is from equity lines.
yep, yeah, I completely agree. Like having that equity, it has catapulted us much further and faster than I thought we could have gone. Yeah, just having that for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, yeah. So tell me, walk me through some more of how you, started building up your portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was in 2021. 2022, we bought the second one, another single family home. It was a light renovation, like 15, 20 grand. We did bring some money into that deal on a down payment, but it was on a construction loan, so we financed the whole construction part of it. Um, we bought it roughly like 120, I think, and we put 20 grand in it, so we had 140 in it. It appraised at like 180 when we were done. So we were able to pull off, go again, things like that.
Yeah.
Uh, and then the next one we bought was actually a fourplex. That one, we used the equity from our other properties to buy it, so no money down, but we used our own money to do the renovations because we had 4 tenants and we didn't know when they were leaving or anything. So it's like putting on a construction loan. Like, I have no idea when I'm going to do this renovation, because if the tenant stays, like it might be a year from now before you do anything. And so that was a little bit risky. We had to save up some cash to do that, but it totally paid off. That was one. We actually sold it earlier this year. We're 1031ing it, but we came out with over $100,000 profit on that thing. We turned all 4 units, got rents up to market rate. Like, it was just a building that needed a lot of love, and it took us about 2 years to do it. I mean, it took a while, but I mean, it was a 6-figure flip in a way. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But
Yeah, man, we don't have a ton of multifamily, especially around my area. But I love the idea of being able to just work on one property, so you have only 25% vacant, and
right.
if you're lucky, that the other rents might cover all the expenses while you renovate the one, and then just kind of go around the circle and slowly build the rents up. And it's
For
awesome.
sure. Yeah, and we got kind of lucky on that one too. In the sense, like, not all tenants left at the same time, so we could do one, wait a little bit, and then also we really underestimated what the rents would be. Like, when I was underwriting this thing when we bought it, I was like, because it's in a small town. I was like, well, we get $600, per unit or something. Like, we'll end up being like 800 per unit, and that just threw the cash flow way through the roof and made the property worth way more money. And so we had a little bit of luck on our side on that one, but the plan was the same through the whole thing. Just get rents up, get it up to par again. Clean everything up, not slumlord it, and we provided a good place to live for this small town, and we made some money in the process too. So
that's great. When you're looking at renovating a property, and well, I guess it's just kind of a 3-part question here. If you're looking to renovate a property and you're looking to resell it, do you have a different plan from when you're looking to, rent it? And what do you do if you're not sure? Like, how do you make decisions to, improve the property?
Yeah, for sure. I'm still kind of learning that as we go, but I will say, like, it depends on the price range of the home. So, like, in our area, like, average price of a house is like in the 300s. We buy a lot of homes like under 200 grand. They're usually like fixer uppers, things like that. And if like the after repair value on them is like under 250, I kind of put it like a rental and a flip kind of in the same category. I kind of do rental grade through the whole thing. whether I'm going to keep it or flip it, because I'm trying to make an affordable home for someone if we're going to sell it. And if I don't sell it, it's just a good rental afterwards. Above that, so we've flipped some other homes in the 400s, things like that, and like we will go. I mean, we're floor to ceiling tile showers, glass doors, like glass handrails, things like that, and we'll put a lot more money into it. So if there are some that's bluntly obvious just on price range whether we're going to flip it or keep it, but I will say like there's also that transition of there was 2 properties this year. They were just 3-bed, 2-bath homes. We bought them in the 200s, and like they're probably worth in the 300s when we're all done. Like halfway through the project, I was like, we're keeping it. It was like, it was just one of those, like, it's the perfect rental because they're not that old either. They're like built like in the 2010s. Like, they're 10, 15-year-old properties. They have a lot of life in them. They're really low maintenance. I'm like, they're not going to cash flow that well right now. But I was like, but we're going to be so happy we kept these 10 years from now if we keep them. So like, and we probably have 30, 40 grand of equity in each one of them right now. So it's like, even though I'm on 8% interest rates on these construction loans with them right now, I'm just kind of holding out because like eventually either we'll refinance doing something else and the rents will keep going up in our area too. So it's just kind of like a hold my breath on those, but like I know they're good properties. And fortunately, when we were doing the flips on them, they were just cosmetic. It was just paint, floors, light fixtures, maybe like a new sink, things like that. And like it didn't matter what I put a $500 sink in it or a $100 sink in it. Like I could still rent the thing out, And so it was, it worked out pretty well. My banker he was not annoyed with me, but he just had to kind of roll his eyes at me. Like, hey, I'm not flipping this now. I'm keeping it. Sorry. So like it changed the whole structure of the loan. And he's like, I got to extend everything now. I'm like, yeah, sorry, but I'm keeping it. Sorry.
Talk to us a little bit about the lenders you've worked with, the banking kind of things you've done, because it is definitely what you're talking about is definitely different than you're just your traditional 30-year hold to live in or to rent. These are construction type loans sometimes. I mean, tell us about what you typically do there.
I work solely, well, not solely anymore, but mostly all mine are financed through a small local bank. They work really, really well with me. They're willing to take on those risks with me, and they've grown with me too. So like in the beginning, I'd bring them one property, small $20,000, $30,000 renovation. They worked me on that. And then I brought them one last year. It was $120,000 renovation on a $450,000 house. And so like we kind of stair step together through it. And like we're to a point where we trust each other. Like we can close quickly. They're willing to risk more on me because they know I'll finish the job, things like that. And that's been huge. And it's all construction loans. So typically what we're doing, it's like 15% down. Is what I need to bring to the deal. So, and 9 times out of 10, that is the equities I have in my other properties. I'm just rolling over as collateral, so I don't have to bring any money to the deal. But also more recently, I've been using some family friends, private lenders as for the down payment. So like there's some properties I bought for 50, 60 grand. I have to bring like $10,000 to the table. Like they'll lend me 10 grand. It's a quick flip. I pay them 12 grand at the end of it. They make a couple $1,000s, and everyone wins at the thing too. But it's still a construction loan with that small local bank at the end of the day because they're just funding the down payment. From there it's we're getting to the point now where rates are starting to creep down a little bit, and I've got these properties with some equity in them. I'm looking at maybe refinancing them into like some 30-year like DSCR loans to get the cash flow up. Things like that, but we have not done that yet. We're still kind of playing that out to see where the market goes and everything. But these construction loans have been great for me. They're adjustable rate mortgages, so they're risky in that sense. But I'm typically on 5-year ARMs, so like I've got 5 years to figure it out. And typically I've either sold it or I'm going to refinance it before that 5 years is up anyway. So
yeah. Yeah, no, I love the local bank thing, and like whatever you hear or whatever we're talking about, is going to be different per bank, per person you talk to. So like, kind of exploring, it might be a good idea to go to maybe an investor group meetup to kind of try to figure out where people locally are getting their financing. and compare what programs different places have. And banks at different times have different buckets they're trying to fill. So like there could be a local bank that is trying to get more real estate into their portfolio. One that I had that worked really well, and I wish this was still around, was they wouldn't let me. I had to buy the property first in cash equity lines, and then they would basically fund everything. They would give me. I let's say I bought it for $90,000, and I think I needed like 145 altogether to have this as a rental. So they like basically give me a check. And one time I had actually two back to back where it was kind of stressful because I had to like close on one in cash, get this money out with the refinance essentially, right? And then buy the other one in cash so that I could then get the money out and refinance on that one. And in those situations, then I just, could, it's not quite that you're going to the closing table with a check. It's one step kind of removed from that, which I've also had. But I was able to, finance the whole thing, and it was immediately on a 30-year fix in an in-house loan, which is pretty rare. So those were awesome. Other ones that I've had is where, if you're buying at enough of a discount, the bank is going to, have to be familiar with you and your track record and all that kind of stuff. And they usually want you to have a deposit relationship with them so that you have cash in their bank and that they're, able to use that to lend to others as well. But they basically look, okay, you're buying this house for $90,000. And it seems very obvious that it's going to be worth 250, let's just say. And we're not going to give you 80% of that, but we'll give you, 140. And then you can, with that, renovate as much as you can. Those are probably bigger numbers than actually exist, but yeah, they'll give you, so you go to closing, they're funding the deal and you're leaving with a check to do the renovations, which is a pretty amazing thing. So to say, check with local banks, talk to other investors and figure out what local banks are offering.
I completely agree. Yeah, when we first got started, we were, with a bigger bank in the area and stuff, but they cannot compete with those small banks because they get pretty aggressive with stuff, and they're also creative. They have other ways of doing things that the big banks can't do, and that they're a huge resource for investors for sure.
Absolutely. And I think at the end of the day, like a bigger bank is probably going to be looking at this stuff more as like a risk on their spreadsheet and not really caring as much about the personal relationship and what you bring to mitigate that risk, which obviously your track record, they trust you now and they'll be, like you said, more willing to take on risks with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's awesome. So what are you seeking now? What's your buy box? Is it any good deal? Is it multifamily? What is your buy box now?
Yeah, this year has been the most active by far. Between buying holds and flips, we've purchased 10 this year.
Nice.
I've also sold 3 of my properties. So I sold that fourplex I was talking about, and I have 2 other duplexes I'm currently selling right now, and we're 1031ing all that money. So to answer your question, what I'm buying, so part of that 1031 money, I'm building a brand new triplex. I can make the numbers work on it, and which is pretty cool to see. We're building almost at the 1% rule right now.
Wow.
We're in this smaller town outside of. I'm in Columbia, Missouri, but a small town outside of there. It's a commuter town for Columbia, but the land is cheap, and we can put it up. The triplex we're building, it's going to cost roughly $400,000 to build. I paid $15,000 for the lot, so I got $415,000 all in. I will be renting this thing out between $400 and $4,500 a month between all the units.
Awesome.
And it's gonna be brand new construction. So that definitely changed my perspective on some stuff of what I can do. So the ones I sold, those were all 1800s built properties, 150-year-old properties. So I'm getting rid of all 150 years of maintenance and putting in a brand new construction. Yeah. So my buy box, on things I want to hold now, I'm looking at newer stuff. I'm getting kind of picky. I will still buy old stuff, but it's typically going to be to flip it or things like that. But I want even I'm getting to a point where I'm even getting out of the lead-based paint stuff now. I like just 1980s and newer. Like that's something I want to buy and hold. I'm looking for that. So single families, multifamilies, doesn't matter. I'm all, if it's a good location and it'll rent well, that's kind of where I'm at these days. But
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that's another beauty. Like again, like somebody might think, well, I got to wait for that perfect brand new house that's going to be under market value and I get the 1% rule on.
mhm.
But you know, those other properties that no longer meet your buy box that you bought and you're now selling are enabling you to do these deals. So like it's a progression. I mean, you can also, you know, look at your portfolio and decide to go like just straight, you know, larger multifamily for some economies of scale where you can actually like maybe treat it a little bit more like a business and you know, have like, you know, on-site a property manager or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of different
Right.
avenues you can go, but if you don't get started, if you don't take some swings, take some base hits, you're not gonna be able to do these cool things like you're talking about.
I agree. The guy I'm selling one of the duplexes to, I was talking to him a week ago, but I told him, I was like this is an old property. It's built 1800s. Like I'm not hiding that. Like it's old. Like it's you're gonna have maintenance on this thing. I
Right.
was like, but like I'm so glad I bought this because it enabled me to build that brand new triplex like right down the road. You know what I mean? Like if I
Yeah.
didn't buy this old thing first, I never would have gotten to that point. You know, it's like I still recognize that. Like I'm actually under contract right now for another triplex that's 70 years old right now. So like it's a fixer upper. Like I'm gonna go in, renovate unit that's all under rented. I'm gonna go do it again. Like it's probably gonna take me a year, 18 months to do it. I was like, but it pays out at the end, and I can use that money to put it into what I really want later. And like
Yeah.
you just have to I don't know, kind of get through the crap to get to the good stuff later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But mhm,
It's an awesome place to be.
mhm.
That's really cool. So how now both are you all doing any of the work yourselves? Did you start off doing any of the work yourselves on these flips or
Yeah, I did start that way. I was putting in vanities, light fixtures, like all that kinds of stuff. Like I was never like super like if you wanted me to do like major plumbing or electrical like that, I never did that. Like I was like, I'm already smart enough to know I'm not the person for that job.
yeah, yeah,
um, but then but I even moving forward, I was like even putting in like bathroom vanity stuff. Like there was one I put in like it was like my fourth attempt at plumbing this sink up and it kept leaking. And I was just like so done with it. And I called the plumber. He had it fixed in 45 minutes. I think I paid him like $100 to do it. I'm like, all right, there's my lesson learned. Like, and then after that, I just started hiring everything out. I'm like, you can do it faster and better than me.
yeah,
Like, you're saving me the money of me trying to do this for the next 3 hours anyway. So, like, and I'm getting to a point now where my time is better spent trying to find other properties rather than having my head underneath the sink, you know, trying to fix it and things like that.
yeah, yeah. I think it's there's a lot of different ways, but to go about that. But I think you know ultimately when you're leveraging other people and their skill sets, et cetera, like it's definitely more efficient for me, especially with renting property. So I do manage my own. But I kind of drew a line in the sand. I was like, I don't want to do the work for them. Like, I don't want to.
Yep.
I'll take the call, but I'm going to call somebody to go unclog the toilet or whatever is needed. And it for me, that's mainly like a longevity thing. Like, I have 3 kids. I've got a wonderful wife, and I've got an active real estate sales business. And I don't want to also be a plumber or also try to figure all these random things out. So having the contractors and having the people, the go-to people that can help is so critical for the longevity for me. Because I think if I was trying to figure everything out this whole time, I probably would have stopped at like 1 and just been done.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. I believe.
Yeah. Cool. Well, how does the work life? I'm not going to say balance. I don't think that's like the best way to describe life. I think we should be engrossed in what we're doing. But you and your wife, do you have kids? Are you how do you manage? I know real estate sales are also really hectic. So how do you all manage prioritizing what's important to you outside of work and real estate?
Yeah, it's difficult to find that quote unquote balance. You know, like we have a 1-year-old at home now. That really changed things for us. It really showed how big of workaholics my wife and I are. we were I mean we were working 80 hours a week and we didn't bat an eye at it. It was just what we did. We did for years. And when the kid came, it's like, we can't do that anymore. Like, we got to figure this out. And it also came with, like, I jokingly call it like withdrawals. Like, I would have withdrawals from work. I'm like, I feel like I need to be working and I'm holding my baby, you know. It's like, it's slowly, you know, getting to a point where, like, I'm okay to, you know what, I can just turn this off and go, you know, be with my kid. And because I want to be there, you know, you want to be there for your family and things like that too. And so I was definitely being pulled in two different directions for a while. Just really that first year of my son's life, for sure. And but it's gotten better. You know, I don't work weekends really anymore. I just can't, like, yeah, with the kid. And it gives me that quality time with him. Like, we send him to daycare. We try to fit our jobs into that 8 to 5, you know, sequence. But, you know, in the real estate industry, it really doesn't work like that. But we try to mold it to that as best we can. And in the evenings, we turn off and, you know, be with each other as a family. And it's surprisingly, so many people are very receptive of it, you know. Like, I was always worried it was like, you know, like, I'm going to lose out on this deal, like this flip house, if I don't go there tonight and go look at this thing. And it's like, you know, I just started telling these people, like, they would say, yeah, I got this house for sale. I'm like, hey, like, I'm with my family right now. Can I come tomorrow at, you know, X time? Or like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Be with your family. That's great. And it has not stopped us one bit. Like, we're working less now, but this has been one of the most profitable years we've ever had.
There you go.
Like, it's pretty crazy. But
that's awesome. I guess a natural follow-up question to what you were just saying is, where do you find your deals?
Yeah. So I do direct mail, postcards and letters like that. I have bought 3 deals off of mailers this year, like that. And the rest have been networking and social media. Being a realtor in the area helps big time, because you're talking to other realtors all the time. They might know of other sellers, things like that. And I kind of get there before it ever goes on the market. But also, my wife is very, very good at this, and she's making me get good at it now. But social media, like Facebook, Instagram, we have gotten a few deals just posting what you're doing every day. Like, you know, like, just taking a video of, like, your construction site, like, or like that, like, this project went horribly wrong. I just spent an extra $20,000 on this or something, you know, just like saying how much I even screwed up on this, you know, like, this is bad. But they're like, hey, I see you're invested in real estate. You want this house? I'm like, yeah, great. Yeah. Let me come see it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's been a lot of that too. So I do mailers. Like, I think that is worth the money to do it. But more of my deals have come from networking and social media for sure this year.
That's awesome. Thanks for those tips. I guess that's a good transition to asking if you have any golden nuggets to anybody who's looking to maybe start investing.
Especially if you're starting. I get a lot of people locally that will, like, call or text me and stuff and, like, ask me other stuff. I was like, dude, like, and a lot of them have cash too. Like, they'll come to me and, like, things like that. But even if you don't have cash, I'm like, just start looking. And, like, if it kind of makes sense, bring it to me. I'll help you or whatever. But, like, say this is a person that doesn't know me, like, I'm just giving you advice right now. But, like, if it kind of makes sense, like, I would just, if you have that desire and you really want this to be your thing, I would just say do it. Like, even if you lose a little bit of money on it, like, you're going to learn so much. I was like, because I already know, as a starting investor, you're analyzing the crap out of it. Like, if the numbers kind of work and you're really underwriting it well, like, you're being conservative, the chances are it's probably going to work. I've had jobs where, like, I had a $40,000 renovation on a house. This is like my second flip I've ever done in my life. It's supposed to be a $40,000 renovation. It turned into $90,000. Like, I just didn't know what I didn't know. And, like, I started ripping the floors and everything was wrong. And it was a whole deal. I still came out on that deal making $800. I didn't lose any money. I did make $800. So I was like, you know, as long as you're underwriting it, like, just be super conservative. Like, just, you know, like, if you think it's going to cost you $2,000, say it's $5,000. Like, just be ultra conservative with it. And if it somewhat makes sense, just do it. Like, you will learn so much, even if it all goes completely wrong. And then it will give you so much more confidence to do it again and again and again, where you can start it. That's where I see most people is they want to do it. They never buy their first property and they just sit in this circle and never get going. I'm like, I've gotten to a point with so many people having these conversations. I'm like, you already learned everything from the books and podcasts. I'm like, just go, just act on it and do it. And like, you got to trust yourself a little bit. At the end of the day, it is a risk. Like we're still, it doesn't matter how much experience you have. Like you are going to risk it, a chance of losing money on it, but you just have to do it.
Sometimes having a success can make you be less cautious, and then you take on bigger risks and don't analyze quite as well. I can see that being a thing too. So just, I think like my first deal, I partnered up, and it was probably one of the most profitable ones I've done. And that's probably the wrong way to start because I didn't really lose my shirt on anything yet, but I think it just set me up to be like, oh, I could do this. Like this is, it's not hard. I don't have to worry about it. Let's just go. But that's really good advice. And I think I agree with you completely. So many people don't actually ever take action on it, and it's fear. And know that you are looking for the next holy grail of real estate investing. If you're going to the next, strategy or whatever, and know that that's just a response to like, you're scared to take action. And so like we talked about, like, take a base hit, do one that's a solid cash flowing rental with 20% down if you can, and just kind of start. And that's the biggest thing. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. But no, I've got like almost every deal I buy, the day after I buy it, I walk into these things and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like I second guess it every time. Like it's flip number, whatever, 20 for me. I'm like, I don't know why I did this. Why am I doing this to myself? It's like, it doesn't go away. It's like, you just have to embrace it.
Yeah.
Go for it. But
it's not until like the drywall and paint and like the floors are all done that it starts being like, oh, this place is nice. That's when it's exciting.
The funky smell is gone, and
hopefully.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So what about any books? Like I know we're just kind of poo-pooing on the analysis paralysis and reading and podcasts, but if there is a resource or some kind of mindset or whatever book that you'd recommend, what would that be?
Henry Washington came out with a book. I think it's the Dealmaker. I think it's the Dealmaker is what's called. Henry Washington wrote it, but it's just like a very good laid out, like matter of fact. It's a very short read, and it's just like bullet point after bullet point of like, this is what you do. Like, don't overthink it. Like, go do it, and like, here go. And Henry has been a really big influence on me in my investing career. But he's just very matter of fact, straight to the point, and he also like cares for people in the process. Like, this is someone's home you're buying. Yeah. And like, you need to respect that. And like, it's not like you're in this to go make money and like try and screw the other person over. It's like, let's get them the most money we can, get them to their next place and move forward. And, like try and help everyone out here. But like in that book, he talks about that, and just like pretty much a game plan of like, here's your marketing plan, do this direct mailer campaign here. And when you're going to underwrite this and see what the renovations are, this is what you look for, X, Y, Z, and things like that. So I would recommend that one. It's very short, and it's not a story or anything. It's just like, here's a game plan, go for it.
Okay. Love it. That one hasn't come up yet. But I am definitely familiar with Henry. So that's great. And then if anybody is, you're putting yourself out on social media, right? If anybody wants to follow you and your journey and all that, where could they find you?
Instagram, my handle, it's jesse.v. It's like Victor, jesse.v.walters. Okay. You'll find me on there. Like I post a lot of the fails on there too. So like if you're ever like in a really bad place with one of your flips or something, I just come to my page. I can show you all the mistakes I made too. So yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Well, hey, Jesse, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It was a blast. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the REI Agent.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe to catch new shows every week.
Visit reiagent.com for more content.
Until next time, keep building the life you want.
All content in the show is not investment advice or mental health therapy. It is intended for entertainment purposes only.